Hey guys, LadyLibertyStacker. Today is Friday, March 25th, 2022, and I'm back with my field skillets. I've got my field number 6 that I've used 3 times to make an omelet. The first time I had a video on, and it did pretty good out of the gate. It did much better the second and third time, and I did a mini seasoning after using the skillet all 3 times. You can see it's starting to turn a nice, rich, chocolatey brown color. This one is my field number 12. I haven't used it at all, but I want to give it a couple of coats before I use it. I want to fry bacon with it and do sausage, that kind of thing. So sausage, actually they say that bacon actually can stick when you use it for the first time. Some people say you can season a skillet with bacon, and if it works for you, wonderful. But field doesn't recommend it. So just wanted to show you the difference. It's a deep chocolatey brown. Here it's like a grayish brown. So I'm going to show you what it looks like after a couple rounds of seasoning. And I'm going to show you now putting the seasoning on the skillets, in case you haven't seen me do this in a while. This is how I do it. I warm up the oven until it gets to 250 degrees. And it's 250 degrees, so we're going to put we're going to actually put the skillets in the oven. It's been a while since I've seasoned. We're going to go ahead and put them in now. I'm going to put that one in first. Let it warm up. And we're going to put the field skillet in the oven as well. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. Let them heat up. Now that the oven's at 250. Some people like to use 200. I like to use 250. And then put a coat of seasoning on. I'm going to use my Easy Beasy seasoning stick today. Comes in a tube like so, kind of like a crayon, if you will. But I'm going to put a coat on and wipe it off. And when I do that, after I do that, I'm going to put it in at 350 degrees for another 15 minutes. Wipe it on, wipe it off. And then put it in about 485 degrees for an hour. So that's how I'm going to do these, and I will show you when I put on the first coat. And sped up, of course, so you can see me do it real fast, and I'll show you what the end result looks like and how the skillets compare after 2 additional coats of seasoning on the number 6 and 2 additional coats of seasoning on the number 12. Thank you. I'll be back. Okay, guys, the oven just went off. Timer just went off. Go ahead and turn it off there. We're going to grab the number 12. We're going to put it on our protector. I have a glass stovetop, so you always want to protect it. We're going to go ahead and season with the first additional coat. Get enough on there. Do the rims and do the handle. And we're going to wipe it on with our cloth, cotton cloth. And the whole idea, guys, is to see how it looks. Wipe that off. How it looks. I got to put a little bit more on. You got to make sure that we get enough on, because you're always going to wipe it off. Always going to wipe it off. But you want to get enough on to start with. But we're going to compare how this skillet looks at the end of this seasoning process of 2 additional coats. Now, it came with 3 coats from the factory. And the other skillet has its 3 coats plus 3 mini seasonings out of the gate. And it performed like a champ out of the gate. But it can never hurt to add more coats to it. And just soaking it right up. It's not pooling or anything on here. I'm going to add a little bit more just to make sure. Just to make doubly sure we have enough on. And this is a relatively new rag, so it's not completely infused either. And if you have to pay someone to do seasoning, the reason why they charge more for the bigger pans is because it takes more, obviously more seasoning, more work, especially this one. And that's why they cost more, whether they're vintage or not. There's just more to it. There's a little bit of lint on there. I'm trying to get it off. Cat hair. I have a cat. Sometimes the hairs fly around. Okay, we got it on that way. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the other side. Now we're going to wipe off any extra seasoning that may be just a little bit too much. Actually, this skillet is soaking it up beautifully. All right, I'm going to put it back in the oven now. We're going to do the number 6. This already has 3 coats. We're going to add 2 more. The advantage of giving an oven seasoning is it coats everything on the skillet. Everything. The handle, the side walls, the bottom, the cooking surface, everything. That's the advantage of doing a oven seasoning, because the whole thing heats up. Whereas if you do it on the stove top, only certain parts of the skillet are warmer than others. It's okay on mini seasonings, but when you want a thorough coat added, you want to do it like this. We're going to wipe it all off with a shop vac towel, not the same one as you put it on with. Get that lint off of there. Turn it over and do the bottom. Turn it up to 350. Now it still has to heat up, but I do that when I season multiple skillets because it's just more efficient use of energy. Okay guys, the timer just went off, so we're going to take the number 12 out of the oven, and we're going to wipe off any seasoning that has pooled to a place where we really don't want it. You can already tell the difference. It looks like a deep chocolatey brown, but sometimes it splatters just a little bit. There's a spot right there. And the assist handle was a little uneven. So it's going to get the little bits of lint that are on it. Just make sure it's nice and even. And we're going to bake this at 485 degrees for an hour. So we need to heat it up for a little bit more. There's a little spot there. All done. Just got the seasoning wiped off on this. Camera cut out, so I'm not sure at what, but we're going to put this back in the oven, and we're going to let it bake at about 485 degrees for an hour. And it's getting very hot, so we're going to set the timer, set the oven first for 485. Set the timer for about 70 minutes. And you want it to give it enough time to heat up to the 485 degrees. Okay, I'll be back when we have one coat on. Okay guys, I'm back. It's the next day, Saturday, March 26, 2022. And this is after the second additional coat of seasoning. I said I was going to come back after one coat. Something came up. I didn't really have a chance to show you that. But there's not that much of a difference. You can see this one has the 3 coats of factory seasoning, plus I cooked 3 omelets in it. And, you know, the second 2 were pretty much very, very smooth and slippery. And then I did 2 additional coats. You would think this one would be a lot darker than this one. This had 3 coats of factory seasoning plus 2 additional coats, and I have not cooked in it yet. This should be just fine to cook with as I cook with this out of the gate. So you can kind of see, and there's not that much of a difference. The one thing that I did notice with my number 6 though, on close examination, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's a very fine milled finish on the surface that allows the skillet to hold seasoning. And a little hair got in there. But I did notice that, and I don't really see it with the number 12. Kind of interesting, but I wanted to point that out. So with this one, you can kind of see that in the middle there is circular. I don't really know. The camera's not giving it justice. But at any rate, so you don't have to give it 2 additional coats. You can cook with it right away. But the tail will be when I cook on this one for the first time with 5 coats. But I still think to get them to be really slippery and really darker, I don't know if these will turn black. Hopefully they will. It's all how the original iron is. But you have to cook on them quite a bit. But not a big deal. If you want to put additional seasoning on it, go ahead. If you don't, you can cook with it right out of the gate. Just remember to give it a quick wash out with soapy water, real fast, initially out of the box, and then just go ahead and cook with it the way I showed you in my video. Anyway, guys, I appreciate your watching. Please leave a thumb up if you like videos like this. Please leave a comment or question below in the comment section. And I appreciate you watching, and go have it a great day.